This is lesson 4.3, Areas of Trapezoids. In this video, you will learn how to find the area of trapezoids. Trapezoids are shapes that have four sides. Two sides are parallel to each other, and the other two are not. In words for the area of a trapezoid, the area A of a trapezoid is 1/2 the product of its height h and the sum of its bases, B1 and B2. Those bases, B1 and B2, are the two parallel lines. In algebra, A equals 1/2 h times the quantity B1 plus B2. So the trick here is locating those parallel lines. Because those are your two bases. Those are the numbers that you add together and multiply times h and 0.5. Example 1a. I'm always going to start with writing my formula. A equals 1/2 h times the quantity B1 plus B2. I'm going to start off by finding my parallel lines. Here I can see that this line is parallel to this line. If they were extended out, I could tell that they were never going to touch. Whereas if I extended this line and this line, eventually towards the top, they're going to touch each other. All right, so B1 and B2 have to be the 9 feet and 5 feet. That leaves the perpendicular height to be 6. So 1/2 times 6, in parentheses I'm going to put 9 plus 5. And PEMDAS tells us that the first thing I have to do is take care of parentheses. So 9 plus 5 is 14. And I'm going to write down what I haven't done yet. I'm changing this to a 0.5 because that's how I'm going to enter it into my calculator. 0.5 times 6 times 14. That equals 42. And my units are feet times feet. Feet squared. For example 1b, again I'm going to find those parallel lines. I can tell if I extend this one and this one outwards as far as they could go, they're never going to touch. Therefore I know they're my bases. Write down my formula. Area equals 1/2 height times B1 plus B2. I'm going to go ahead and fill in those bases. 11.5 plus 8.5. That leaves my height to be the perpendicular height. I can see that perpendicular right there. It's perpendicular to both bases, which is 5. Okay, 11.5 plus 8.5. That equals 20. I'm going to rewrite everything else I haven't done yet, changing that 1/2 to a 0.5. That's how I'm going to put it in my calculator. 0.5 times 5 times 20. That equals 50. And my units are meters. So meters squared. Here's one like we did with the parallelogram where we're not given any of the heights or bases, but we can count the squares to determine where they are. So A equals 1/2 base 1 plus base 2. And I'm going to see which ones look parallel to me. That's going to be this one and this one. So this side over here, that looks like it's 2 units long. And this side over here, that looks like it's 1 unit long. The height, it's a perpendicular height, remember, so I have to make it a right angle to both bases. So that's going to go from here to here. And that looks like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units long. And I still have my 1/2 or 0.5 there. So I have to do what's in parentheses first. 2 plus 1 is 3. And I still have the 6 over here and the times 0.5. 0.5 times 6 times 3 is 9. and I don't have any units here, so we actually just call it units squared. All right, for example 3, it says you can use a trapezoid to approximate the shape of Scott County, Virginia. The population is about 23,200. About how many people are there per square mile? Well, first we need to figure out how many square miles this little county is here. So they said it's about the shape of a trapezoid. So we can use our formula for a trapezoid. A equals h plus b1 plus b2. So I'm going to go ahead and find my parallel lines. There's one this way, and there's one this way. That tells me those are my bases. A equals 1/2, so I'm going to put my bases in. So that's 15 plus 38, which makes my height, the perpendicular height, of 20. Okay, so first I have to add 15 and 38, which is 53. And then I can multiply the rest out. So 0.5 times 20 times 53 is 530, and that's square miles. So that tells me how many total square miles I have, but the question is how many people are there per square mile? So that's per 1 square mile. So I'm going to take the population, 23,200, and divide it by how many total square miles there are. So 200 divided by 530. And in my calculator, I actually get a number that's like this. And it goes on for quite a while. But I'm going to round that to the nearest person because we can't cut people in half. So if I'm going to round to the nearest person, I'm going to round to the nearest whole number, which is right here. And remember, I look to the right. If that number is 5 or above, that means I'm going to bump up. If it's below 5, then I chop off. So since it's above 5 or above, that means I'm going to round it to 44. That means I have 44 people per square mile.